I believe my first exposure to Arbinger was about 20 years ago. And it started with me reading Leadership and Self-Deception. It had a phenomenal impact on me as an individual. I found myself relating quite a bit to the concept, always justifying my issues and my challenges against somebody else versus taking ownership of it. Those concepts are so powerful to help you become a better leader, and then so powerful in an organization to enable the organization to perform in a very different way. T-Systems is a company that's over 35,000 individuals and spread across the US and Asia, but mainly in Europe. It's very traditional, it's been around for a long time, very hierarchical in nature, not just from a decision-making, but also the number of layers in the organization. This old command and control and hard management of people was so prevalent, so pervasive across the organization, where people there were so skeptical about any potential changes possible. Nobody believed that the organization can change. It became very evident that without changing the cultural structure of the company and the cultural beliefs and how we operate and how we work together, it would be very difficult to see noticeable results. We're doing some very hard things. We're taking cost out of the company, we changed the model of the company, how we go to market, what offerings we focus on, where do we spend our R&D money. But the mindset, the cultural aspect of the organization is 75% plus of that change. Because you can make the changes, you can introduce new things, you can take cost out. But if you don't change how people operate and how they work together and how they think about the business, it's not sustainable. The whole foundation of Arbinger model really applies here. It really is relevant by starting with me. And how do I work together with my teammates and how do I collaborate, etc. So in order to execute our transformation plan, we pulled together 200 plus leaders across the company that would be the catalyst of change. They were going to be the leaders that will take the transformational plans, adopt them, make them real for themselves, and then drive them across the organization. It had an impact on this 250 right away. There was an immediate momentum around the concept that people were eager to take it to their teams and changing the organization, communicating openly, addressing the issues, putting a new dynamic in how the leadership team should work. And I'm hearing more and more comments from the employees that we were amazed that we're seeing this kind of changes. Last year, we probably touched about 5,000 people with the concept. Well, this year we're going for another 5,000, hopefully 10,000. It's a very different dynamic within the leadership team that we have to do. It's the first time in 5+ years that the company's not declining. Leadership and self-deception, which I think is the best business book out there. Not easy to implement, not easy to make real, because it requires sustained effort and follow through and repeatability, and then adjusting how are you going into the organization. So if you don't take that advice, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on this opportunity to become better.